8 years in the making. For 8 years we were wondering, when is this character going to die? And today could just be the day we find out how she's going to die. I have not been well. I have had so many weird stomach pains, and I've been so nervous. My hands are sweating. I've cried this morning. I feel like I'm going to cry now, and I don't know how I'm going to react if it happens. But yeah. Let's do it. It's gonna be okay. Again, it's a good thing you adore her voice. You're never seeing her face again. It's been a tough week. Hello everyone, it's QueenoftheRandoms, and I'm here today with my Twilight of the Apprentice episode review, which is late, and I'm very, very sorry. I had some issues going on, personal issues, health issues, as well as, you know, being totally like caught up and having to like write all these things because I have a lot to talk about today. And I'm a little slow today. I don't know if I'll be as hyper, and that's why I'm not filming in my usual area with the camera and the microphone. I'm just doing a close and personal one because I don't have the energy for that. I'm just my health is I'm adjusting to new things, and I'm on new medications, and it's just a little wild, and it's just, you know, anyone who's done that will tell you that it's tiring. But I'll do my best. So, Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra are on a quest for knowledge. And knowledge is a big theme in this episode. The importance of knowledge, the sacrifices made for knowledge, and the toll that knowledge takes on us. Knowledge in this case is on your enemy. In this case, the Sith and the Empire. We could just Google them. And the episode handled the theme so much better than Indiana Jones 4 did. The temple. The design of the temple is beautiful. So awesome and mesmerizing. I love that it's designed like a holocron, and it opened up like a holocron, and it was just so mesmerizing, and like the setting of Malachor was just so creepy and eerie, and it just accommodated so well, and yeah, amazing. New Inquisitor! That probably registered the least on the things that happened in this episode, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know much. He seemed disposable. I don't know, we're not sure for sure if he's dead, but he seemed disposable. And then Maul, which I've been wanting to get to. The cockroach of the Star Wars series. Because you can't kill him. And seriously, Maul steals the show. And Kanan's eyesight as well, but we'll get to that. Sam Witwer's performance of Maul is again so brilliant. And his interpretation of Maul in this particular part of his life is just so poignant, and every time he spoke, I was just like, yes. At the moment, Maul is a very unaligned character. He is a dark side user, but he's not affiliated with the Sith anymore. And he dropped the dark part of his name. And he sits far off on one side of a line, and then on the other side there's Ahsoka, who's a light side user, but not a Jedi. A theme that was explored so strongly and beautifully, but quite subtle, was the theme of the grey areas of two extremes, good and evil. And this theme was very much showed through Ahsoka, who definitely showed her grey Jedi-ness in this episode, and more. It was showing through these characters, but it affected Ezra, who I admit I was a little worried for, but then I started thinking, we can all agree that Ezra is a lot like Anakin. Like, their resemblance is uncanny at times. And I believe that if Ezra had been born a few years earlier and had been recruited into the Jedi Order, while also gone through all of the terrible things that happened to him, he would have most definitely ended up like Anakin and succumbed to the dark side. But because Ezra has a supportive environment and people who care for him, as well as Kanan's guidance, Ezra has the support, the love, and understanding that Anakin was denied. Again, well done for the show, showing what the Jedi should have been like rather than they were. Furthermore, Ezra has always been someone that most force skills have come fairly naturally to him. So it'd be understandable if he had some affinity for the dark side. Ezra doesn't trust Maul, and he definitely doesn't trust the Sith. So if Ezra turns to the dark side, which he may, they're setting that up it seems, I think it will be on his own accord. I don't think he's going to get turned. I don't think he's going to join Maul or join the Sith. I think if he turns to the dark side, it's going to be unaligned and for his own crusade. I can't find the words today, I'm sorry. I went off script. Ezra, I think, will neither be a Jedi nor Sith. I think he has a great amount of potential to be a great Jedi. It makes sense to me. Ezra is definitely in a class of his own. Back to Maul. He played all of us big time. I trusted him for a second. And so did you. Oh, he didn't betray him. He seemed so sad and angry about all the Sith had done to him, and mourns very much of what his life could have been like if the Sith had never took him away. It's interesting to compare Maul to how he was found now on Malachor, compared to when Savage found him on the garbage tip planet. He was broken and unhinged and scary as which he still is. But it's a different type of broken, unhinged, and scary as Things are different with Maul, but a lot of things seem similar. The unbridled desire for power and revenge. And I can't wait to see what horrors he unleashes on the galaxy. And when he cut down the Inquisitors. Jesus. And now on to Kanan. Did not see that coming, and he probably didn't either. He's blinded! Yeah, that was very unexpected. And really freaking brilliant. Kanan is very much one of the few Jedi characters that when I think of him, I don't automatically place him as a Jedi. I know he's a Jedi, but it's not like with Obi-Wan when I was like, Jedi. It's not like with Anakin when he was still Anakin Jedi. It's not like Plo Koon or Luminara or all the other Jedi who were very Jedi. Kanan, again, is in very much of a class on his own. And I think it's because, we got to know him before he revealed himself to be a Jedi in, back in Spark of the Rebellion. And also because he is not like any sort of Jedi we've seen, because Jedi usually conduct themselves in a certain way. And because of that, we attach to him as a human. We admire him first as a human being, before we, bring in the Jedi factor and we're like, pretty cool. And, I think Kanan is one of the most developed characters in Star Wars. He's got a book series. He's got the comic books. He's got A New Dawn. He's got some time. He's got quite a bit of time on Rebels to develop himself, and he's kind of coming close to being pretty good. He has his flaws, and he has a very one-track mind. And coming onto season 3, I was thinking, what are they gonna do with Kanan? Because he seems pretty developed, and you think back to the rule and storytelling, to develop a character, you break them. And break them they did! And it's going to be very interesting to see how he reacts to him being blind, how it's going to affect his relationships, especially with Ezra and Hera. And also it's cool because we have a disabled member on the Ghost, and that's great for representation. I think it's going to be, our Trust Filoni will do a great job on showing how Kanan deals with that. Kanan's not going to bounce back. No one bounces back from an injury like that immediately. He's probably going to feel angry and sad at times. And I think that's just going to be amazing for his character. Also, with his Force abilities, he's going to probably learn how to use the Force to see and sense things. Because he did a bit of that in this episode, and when he, had that Luke Skywalker moment, and it was very similar. Like, I was listening to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s interview on First Order Transmissions, yes. It was very similar to Rey's fight with Kylo Ren. Like, he hit the explosion of the Force without thinking to channel all this Force energy and stuff, just as a survival mechanism. And when he did all that, and he had, but instead of, like, you know, he was talking about how Rey had, like, all the amazing music, and, like, it was very dramatic, and Kanan's was very much downplayed. It was very quiet, and you heard through his senses, and he had that flash of a moment. We had that one frame of a flash when it was just all red, and it was meant to show, like, what he saw, and it was so brilliant, like, and I remember just, oh, it was so brilliant and poignant, and he had his moment. I just have really high hopes for Kanan this season, because I think it's going to be pretty brilliant. And finally, I know a lot of you have been waiting to see how I would react to this particular thing. And it's interesting now to look back 6 years ago, 2010, when I first saw Ahsoka. I know she's been around for 8 years, but when I first saw Ahsoka, and I wasn't as educated in Star Wars as I am now. I was fairly new to it. I had watched the movies and I liked them, but I wasn't like as super fangirl as I am now. And I remember thinking for a while, after I got into her and started liking the character, what would happen if she would have been able to live as long as she did to see a battle with Darth Vader. And now, 6 years have passed. I have changed and grown. I went through puberty. I got my teeth fixed. I've done stuff, and she's grown up too, quicker. And that day finally came. And roll clips. I haven't actually written anything down for this particular part of the review, and I just thought, well, you don't want to speak from the heart, and I decided just to try and speak from the heart and just talk about it, and because even now when I have to think about it, it's so hard to describe. It's so I can't, and it's not just because I'm fairly hazy and I'm a little disorientated, but also, you know, it's just so overwhelming, and it was pretty perfect. It was just everything I had hoped it would be. I would not be able to think of anything better. And as I was saying with Kanan, and he had his Luke Skywalker moment, Ahsoka also had her Luke Skywalker moment. And it was wonderful. The moment when she said, "I'm no Jedi," with so much rage. But still, and this was the moment when she decided to take revenge. And that made sense. It wasn't like a revenge of like, I'm gonna kill you all and make you suffer as much as I have. This was very much of a selfless revenge, because she's revenging Anakin. She's not revenging herself. And try in it because she decided, look, for the sake of Anakin, I'm going to get rid of you. Even though she doesn't. But like, I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to, for the sake of Anakin. And all he was, nothing with me. It was a very selfless revenge. And I'm not actually, I don't know how to read a script, I'm just kind of reading, so, see how well this comes out in editing. And with Darth Vader, like, you know, it was so interesting to see, to think about the fact that these characters have not seen each other in 15 years. and Ahsoka holds memory of what Anakin was, and we hold a memory of what Anakin was. Dismiss Hayden Christensen, Matt Lanter Anakin, because he is the ideal Anakin for me. And I think Hayden Christensen had his moments, but that's a whole different other video. But she holds memories of who he was. She knows the anguish he's been through and his potential also. Maybe not as well as Obi-Wan, but she understood how much he struggled. And I think she looks back in reflection. I can imagine Ahsoka would look back in reflection and see how screwed over he was by the Jedi Order, and at times, and especially now knowing that information, I would imagine that now she would be able to comprehend that, how screwed over he really was, that he felt like the only way he could have any sort of control over his pain to prevent anything bad happening to him again, he would have to do that, but then it consumed him, and she knows, and it's pitying, it's just, Anakin was like her brother. Onto the actual kind of fight and everything, and the fight, love the fight. The fight, Darth Vader fought like Darth Vader. He had, he's not as agile as Anakin, obviously, but he still kind of had the very prominent Form 4, he had the very prominent Form 5 technique, and it was great. And Ahsoka, where have you been hiding your skills from, girl? Form 4, which Ahsoka specializes in, and Jakai. It's pleasing aesthetically, but it's really problematic when it comes to fighting, especially reverse grip, which I think she doesn't. I don't really been able to watch, but I realize she doesn't use it as much. The reverse grip that she very prominently held in in the Clone Wars, and it's very rare to see. I was not expecting that she would get a hit in quite a detrimental hint, and be able to and of course it makes sense. I mean, Ahsoka knows how Anakin fights, and so a bit of Darth Vader fights, and when she screamed and she ran behind him and screamed and whacked him and they cracked open his mask, and you saw Anakin's face. Clone Wars Anakin, the Anakin that I love, the Anakin that I just adore, because I think he's seeing Darth Vader, the empty shell that Darth Vader has inhabited in the Anakin that I know. It was so scary. It was I don't think at first I was as, I was watching and I was just mainly going, please live, please live, please live. And then when I watched it a few more times and thought about it, I think I then was the one that had then I started crying and thinking about it. And when you hear Matt Lanter's voice come out, the bloodlust, the Vader in him and everything, along with the respirator, and you just see that he wants to kill her and everything, and it's undescribably good drama. It's so good. Oh, and I also have to give a nod to the voice actors, both Ashley and Matt, and also James Earl Jones. Oh, they worked so well. They bounced off each other, and and there was a moment when she's sees Anakin, and she says, and her voice kind of regresses back into how she sounded when she was 14. She kind of talks like this, and when she was young, she used to kind of talk like this, a little higher, and she was just like Anakin. And I was like, oh god, okay, you sound like a 14-year-old again. And the pain, and she looked so innocent. Oh, the voice acting, Ashley's voice performance is another amazing thing. Like the bit when Darth Vader was like, "Vengeance is not the Jedi way," and she just goes, "I'm no Jedi." I was just like, just thinking about it, like watching it again, just going, oh god, it was amazing. So, also the cracked helmet, yeah, again, that also explains why his helmet's different in the first, in A New Hope, because, you know, it's got a different kind of arch thing, the Rebels helmet. And when, like, that she sacrifices herself, she pushes Ezra away, and, like, and it explodes. Like, you know that Darth Vader lived, but I had to think for a moment that Ahsoka was dead. That ending scene. Now I want to talk about the ending scene because that's another amazing moment when he's limping out of the temple. Like, when Kanan and Hera reunited, and that was like, I looked and there was that dramatic moment, like, oh yeah, dude, the promise is halfway kept. We'll see each other again, you say. I don't think so, mate. You're not seeing anything again. And the music was absolutely, oh god, the music was just amazing. Kevin Kiner. That's just, yeah, I didn't. Also, back onto the, like, one thing of Fight I also loved was Ahsoka's theme playing. That was just another strike in the field that I didn't need. And because he's talking about, I'm not leaving you. And I'm like, okay, don't feels alright. When you see Anakin, I keep calling him Anakin, Darth Vader limp out. And the dust and, like, the animation of the rubble. I'm going to fight the next person that says the animation in Rebels is crap. Look at that scene and tell me it's crap. It's beautiful. And the convoy is staring out, like, just... I want to talk about the convoy in a different video, because I have a theory. You saw her walk out of the temple. Silhouette, she's alive! I know that some people think that, you know, she was kneeling and falling into death, like, collapsing and dying. When you collapse, it was a different motion. It's more of a two-beat motion. She was walking out, and it was not as jerky. Also, now I have to think about the fact that she's stuck on Malachor. She could try and take the Inquisitor's TIE fighter, maybe. Anyway. But she's on Malachor with all the knowledge of the Sith. And also when she steps down and you see it, it's very similar imagery to the sunset of when Ahsoka's last shot on Clone Wars when she's walking down the steps. It's freaking so similar! Walking down the steps. The statues, like, the statues that were on the Jedi temple and the stairs, and she walks down, it had like the same kind of motion, the triangular kind of frame. Follow me. And she walks down, and now, again, because I remember when she walked down those stairs after being devastated, I had to think about, does that mean she lived or not? Does that mean she's, like, going to live to see her again? What does this mean? Are we ever going to see Ahsoka again? Now we have the exact same question again. Although my favorite theory is that Ahsoka's going to show up in, like, Star Wars 8, and she's going to be like, Luke's going to send Rey to Malachor to get taught by the Queen of Malachor herself, Lady Tana. Alright, I'll take that. I love that. I mean, yeah, anyway, and of course there's the Ahsoka book coming out, which I'll talk later about. I'll talk somewhere else. So I think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential for next season. This episode showed it, and this episode was some of the best. It was like the best hour of TV I've seen in a long while. It was so well done, so beautiful, so scary, and the atmosphere. And I'm tired of talking now, and I'm pretty sure you're all tired of listening to me. Thank you for watching the Queen of the Randoms, and bye. If you like this video, please consider contributing to my Patreon page. Those who contribute over $5 a month will have access to behind-the-scenes footage. Or if you want to donate and let it be a one-time thing, you can press the I thing there, and it will lead you to a link to that so that you can support my channel. All donations are greatly appreciated. Or if you want to follow me on social media, I now have a Tumblr page. Just looking up Queen of the Randoms. And also a Twitter at RandomQueen6. I also have a Facebook page, looking up at Queen of the Randoms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.